Nebraska loses to Texas A&M in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and with that, the Huskers season has come to a close. Let's just dive into the game, guys, and what I saw out there. I felt really good about this matchup going into it. Texas A&M is a team that did not shoot well from three-point range. They weren't a really deep squad. Really good defensively, but a team that was really on the bubble all season long until they got hot in March in the SEC tournament. And I figured if Nebraska is playing their best basketball and if Texas A&M is playing their best basketball, I have Nebraska winning every single day of the week. I was wrong. Texas A&M, they came off the gates firing. Nebraska did as well, but Texas A&M was a lot more consistent. And really the thing that jumped out at me from the get-go was just the physicality and veteran presence of the Aggies. It felt like every single time they had the basketball, they went up, got the shot to go down, and even when they did miss, they got the offensive board. Nebraska's defensive presence today was absolutely pathetic. They gave up 98 points, and Wade Taylor, the best player for Texas A&M, he went off from the get-go. We cannot stop star players time and time again this season. So Texas A&M was the more physical team. They dominated the glass. They were better from three-point range. They were better from the field. And again, they just dominated us offensively. From our offensive perspective, Casey Tominaga played pretty well throughout the first half, but nobody else did a single thing. Rink Mass, nowhere throughout this game. Josiah Alec missed about 5 wide open layups. Bryce Williams did about nothing. Jamarcus Lawrence was not good. CJ Wilcher off the bench. I don't think he even had a single point. So offensively, it was pretty bad. And it's actually funny looking at the fact that we scored 83 points. Do you think that we played well enough to score 83 points? Because I did not. But that just happens when it's such a fast-paced ball game. When Texas A&M controlled the tempo, yeah, you're bound to put up points. But again, just a frustrating performance by Nebraska. And who were we to think we were going to get this victory? This is Nebraska basketball. And this is what sucks about it. We've never won an NCAA tournament game. We're basically the Kansas football of college basketball. We're the worst Power 6 program year in and year out. And we thought this year was going to be different. Same old, man. Same old. And you know what sucks is that the fans showed up. I saw all these videos about 30 minutes, 20 minutes until tip-off where there were hundreds, thousands of Nebraska fans in Memphis, Tennessee, hyping up the team, Go Big Red chants all over. I mean, this fan base deserves better time and time again. There were about 0 Aggie fans in that crowd. They kept panning to Johnny Manziel in the audience because they had nobody else to pan to because there were no Texas A&M fans there. But there were tons of Nebraska fans there, and they were let down. I'm disappointed just like everybody else watching this video is. But let's get into some of the good things from this season. I know there's not a lot of good things we could take away from this performance, but let's talk about the season as a whole because this was a success. First off, this was the most wins a Nebraska basketball team has had in this century. This is the first tournament appearance we've had since 2014, the second in over 2 decades. We finished 3rd in the Big Ten after being projected to not even finish inside the top 10. Nobody believed in us. Nobody believed in us turning this thing around, and we had a really, really good year. We had 2 top 5 victories at home against number 1 Purdue and then against, I believe, number 5 Wisconsin, both in which we rushed the core and, again, had really good memories. And, again, we had a pretty memorable seniors, that being Casey Tominaga, and that brings me to another point. Casey Tominaga, man, I wish you well. It's been awesome to see you ball out the last 3 years. Probably, again, one of those guys you're going to hear about for the next 20, 30, 40 years, a guy you're never going to forget about. You know, Josiah Alex, another senior, he's a guy you're going to forget about. And that's no disrespect to Alec, but he was a forgettable player and he didn't play too well this season. Casey Tominaga, the last 3 years, has put him in the hearts of Nebraska fans forever. Not only Nebraska fans, but college basketball fans. So, Casey, man, he was crying after the game. I felt super bad for him. This is a guy who puts his heart on his sleeve. He goes out there, balls every single game. He was the only guy to show up today. So, to Casey, man, you deserve better. I wish we played better for you. So I'm going to miss you a lot, Casey. But, again, there's a lot of good memories from the season. And it sucks because I thought this team was going to be different. I thought we were going to finally get the curse off our back and get an NCAA tournament victory. And I thought, we're going to do this for a multitude of reasons. Not only because that we're a really solid team, but, we're going to do it because, screw Trev Alberts. And that's going to add, flames to the fire, right? But, in the biggest moments, Nebraska shows you that they still are Nebraska and they still, can't change the narrative. And that's what sucks. And everybody's clowning us on social media right now. Same old Nebraska. And They're right, man. They're right. We had a golden opportunity, and we squandered it. We got blown out. We didn't have a chance in this game. I would have felt one way about this game if we played our tails off and we lost at the buzzer. We lost a close ball game. We never had an opportunity to win. We knew when there were 10 minutes left to go in the first half, this game was over. We got blown out. Texas A&M was better than us. Texas A&M was better coached than us. They wanted it more. They looked like they've been there before. And at the end of the day, Texas A&M won. And there's a reason why there's a lot of people saying that they were going to win. They backed up their hype, and we did not. So let's get into Nebraska's future now. So we're coming off of an NCAA tournament first-round exit, quiet exit. Again, we didn't play a very good game. It was a quiet exit. But we proved a lot of people wrong this year. Again, we came third in the Big Ten. A lot of people didn't even think we were going to come top 10. So you've got to think, we're just going to keep trending up with Fred Hoiberg. So let's just get into that real quick. We extended Fred Hoiberg about a couple days ago. I did not think this was a good move. Here's the reason why. We have not had a winning season under Fred Hoiberg until now. And this is the problem with Nebraska athletics, is that a coach has one good season and we extend them. And that's why we're always paying buyout money. That's why we're always stuck with bad head coaches, is because we're stupid when it comes to, again, handing out contracts left and right. So I thought we extended Fred Hoiberg a little bit too early. He's got to prove this consistently. And here's the problem with Nebraska. We have a great core returning. You return Rink Mass. You return Bryce Williams. You return Jawan Gary. There's a lot of freshmen coming back like Eli Rice that I feel really good about in the future. Okay, so I feel really good about the core coming back for Nebraska. I see no reason why we can't be competitive next year. But the recruiting has been horrendous. They have never, ever had a top 30, top 40 class under Fred Hoiberg. And that doesn't look to be changing anytime soon. Fred Hoiberg, the reason why he left to the NBA originally is because he notoriously does not like recruiting. And that reflects on our program. So yeah, we've done a good job in the transfer portal, but you can't build programs like that. You got to get guys from the high school ranks. We need to start getting 4 stars. We need to start getting 5 stars. That's how you're going to build this longevity. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous about Nebraska going forward, but I love the core for next year. And if we can continue to build off this, build experience, I see no reason why we can't be solid or in the exact same position. And again, keep adding guys in the transfer portal. That brings me to my last point for Nebraska next year. You got to add some guys in the transfer portal to keep building depth. There's a couple guys who are Nebraska kids who are going to be entering the transfer portal or who already are in the portal. I'm just going to name a couple of them. Frankie Findler. You might know his name. He was a guard for Omaha. Senior. Has 1 year of eligibility left. He averaged 20 points a game for the Mavericks. Kid from Bellevue West, Nebraska, right? Chucky Hepburn. A guy who's been rumored to enter the transfer portal the last couple years. I think this will probably be the year where he does, in fact, do that. You have an opportunity to land him. Okay, William Kyle's another guy, another Omaha kid who was one of the better players at South Dakota State this year. Another guy who I foresee is going to enter the transfer portal. So Nebraska, the problem with Nebraska is that they burnt a little bit of ties within the state, especially with these high school coaches. You got to start renewing these ties going forward and start to get some transfers. So that's how we can be good next year. So all eyes on next year, man. And this is just a disappointing game. Disappointing game for us. I'm sorry to the fans. I really thought we were going to go out there and get a W. I thought this was going to be different, and it just wasn't. And we didn't have enough players out there. We weren't well coached enough. It was an all-around failure by Nebraska, but it doesn't take away how great of a season this was. So I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful for the road. Now it's time to watch the girls team play Texas A&M in about an hour, and hopefully they can avenge us and we can get a little bit of happiness from this day. So let me know anything down below about this game for Nebraska, the Cornhuskers going forward. All eyes on football season and spring practice now. I'll have that all covered here on the Will Stevens Sports Channel going forward. So again, let me know that down below, what you think about this ball game. Make sure to like and subscribe. But as always, folks, for the last time this season, go Big Red, go Fred Hoiberg, and see you in the next one.